say bye-bye.
Crisscross applesauce.
Heyo, and welcome to my channel. I am Crisscross Applesauce, and today I'm giving you guys an update on my Rupture Bleed build. We have changed a few things around, moved around some aspects, and now we are doing well over 1 billion damage on our Ruptures. I've gotten up to tier 104 in the pits very easily, and I'm going to continue to push that and update you with that as well. So, to get right into it, the skill tree has changed quite a bit. We are not using any single-handed weapons, so I took away Duelist and added No Mercy to give us some more critical strike damage since we are slowing everything. I think that's about it for this. Paragon board, the only really big change is we switched out the glyph on our hemorrhage board. We're now going to be using Marshall, which is still going to give us the nice buffs to the physical damage over time nodes. I've gone ahead and grabbed more physical damage over time here. We are not taking Flawless Technique now since we are not using one-handed weapons. The only reason I still have this here is because I needed the cold damage, as you can see. Even with that, it is still not where I want it to be. So if you can get that squared away, you don't need that Paragon board at all. And that's going to free up a bunch of points that you can put in other spots, such as Berserking, or just grab more of the damage over time slots that are all over the place. That physical damage over time is really a bigger help than I ever thought. And I'm glad that I decided to experiment and get that sorted out. Gear changes. Depending on whether you need the health or you need the damage. For damage, put Amethyst in your gear. For survivability, put Rubies in for the life. As you can see, I'm running pretty low life for an endgame build. However, because of the mechanics of the chest piece, our Rage of Haragath, and how many enemies are around us that we're going to be bleeding at a time, our Iron Skin is almost always up. And since we are running the Iron Warrior on our amulet, we have a whopping 53% more damage reduction. We are pretty tanky even in the really, really high tier stuff. I swapped out the Sapphires for Amethysts on all of my weapons to give us increased damage over time. That should be taking you from about 300 or so bleed damage up to about 750 if you've gotten everything set up the way I do. Right now we're running about 1800 critical strike damage, which goes up to about 2600% extra bleed damage when we critically strike, which is pretty big. Our vulnerable damage is a little bit lower than it was before. I think it was at 1100 before. Now it's gone down because I have gotten some different weapons and put a lot more emphasis on flay duration and critical strike damage. Flay duration is huge because what it ends up doing is the bleeds end up stacking for that amount of time. So for 13.5 seconds, my flay bleed damage is just stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking. So for 13 seconds, this is going to get up to about 60 to 70 million damage ticks. And then once we see that, we can rupture. As you can see there, that was a 1.2. That was just under a 1. So with 2 ruptures, we can do well over to nearly 3 billion damage, which is more than I ever expected with this build when I started playing around with it. So with all that said and done, again, critical strike chance is huge. This could be a lot higher if I would get some better gear. And if you can get that up to 100%, you are going to be doing a hell of a lot more damage because you're going to be proccing critical strikes way more often and getting your damage way up faster. So, with all that said, there is a fully updated build guide in the description. And please like and subscribe if you want more of this. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Good luck, have fun, everybody.
Get this game going, am I right?
When you fart, do you float a little bit?